episode where I'm going to be walking you through setting up your very own React application. Some of the prerequisites for this tutorial will be an IDE, which I recommend Visual Studio Code. So here is the official documentation of Visual Studio Code where you can actually install your Visual Studio Code. The next prerequisite will be npm, a node package manager that comes installed with Node.js. Here is the documentation for Node.js where you can install your Node.js. The node package manager will help us install and manage React dependencies and also install some third-party packages which our application will rely on. To check if we have Node.js and the current version we're currently running on, I'm going to pull up my terminal. To check the version, I'm going to use the command node-v, enter. So currently I'm running on Node version 22.2.0. So depending on the time you're watching this tutorial, your Node version might be different. In our Node version, we're going to be moving forward to creating our React application. So I'm going to navigate into a desktop directory where I want to place my React application. So I'm going to cd desktop. So I'm currently in a desktop directory. To create my React application, I'm going to be using the build tool Vite. Vite is a popular build tool which is known for its speed and flexibility and equally provides developers with a linear development experience for modern web application. This is a great alternative to the Create React app, which is deprecated as of 2023. So to do so, I'm going to do npm create Vite at latest. It's going to create a React application. It's requesting for the project name. The project name is very case sensitive, so you cannot use capital letters or spaces. I'm going to be naming my project blog app. It's requesting for the framework, so I'm going to use the up and down arrow to select React. Since we're starting off, I'm going to be using JavaScript. So it has already created a React application. I'm going to navigate into the folder of my application using this command that has been given. Cd blog. So I'm currently in the directory of my application. So I'm going to install the necessary packages that are required. Npm install. This is going to install the packages. Okay, the package is installed. So with the package installed, I'm going to open my project in Visual Studio Code. So to do that, I'm going to use code space. This is going to open my project in Visual Studio Code. So my project is open on Visual Studio Code. It's going to expand the terminal. So to run and actually see how my output looks like, I'm going to open a new terminal. So to run the project, you're going to use the command npm run dev. So our project is currently running on port 5173. So I'm going to navigate here on the browser. So as you can see, our project has already been created and it is a Vite React application which comes alongside with a simple counter. You can count. So going back to our project, so we have some folders and files in our application which I'm going to be talking on what their functions and how they affect our project. The first folder we have here is the node module. The node module contains installed libraries, frameworks, and tools which our application rely on to function properly. So once you install a new library or a new tool for your project, it's going to be added into this node module folder. As you can see, currently there are a lot of packages that has already been installed. The next folder is the public folder. The public folder contains assets like images, videos that are going to be served through the web server. Now, these assets that are found in the public folder are not being modified or optimized by Vite during the build process. The next folder that we're going to be talking on in source folder is actually the main folder of our application, where we are going to be inputting most of our files, our folders that our application is going to rely on. So in the source folder, we have the assets folder. We have the assets folder. The assets folder is very similar to the public folder that we had here, and equally contains assets like images, videos, style sheet files, which are going to be styled in our application. But the difference between the assets and the asset folder and the public folder is the asset folder is actually being bundled into the application during the build process. So the next file is the index.html file. This is the main entry point into our application, meaning that this is the HTML file that is being rendered on application when our application loads. It contains an element with ID root. So this is where all our React components will be rendered. It equally contains a script tag that references a main.jxs file. I will navigate to the main.jxs file. This main.jxs file is the main JavaScript file in our React application, meaning that it renders all of the components that our application has. And it does this by calling the element with ID root, which is this element, and rendering all this element in it. And you remember, there's only one element with this ID root in our entire application, which is found in this index.html file here. Going back to the main.js file. Currently, the main.js file is rendering the component app from the app.js. So I'm going to navigate to the app.js. So here is the content of the app.js. And if you go to our browser, this is exactly what is found here. So what the content of the app is being imported into main, and it is being rendered here on the browser. The next file I will be talking about is the package.json file. The package.json file actually contains metadata about our application, like the application name, the version, and equally contains some scripts that we use to run our application. So the next thing I'll be talking about is if you are from a Create React app background and you are used to port 3000 and you would like to change the port number from this to a different port number, let's say 3000. To do so, you actually have to navigate to the vite.config.js file and change the port of your application. So to change that, I'm going to be using server port. I'm going to change it to port 3000. So once I do that, it actually changes the port of where my application is being served. So if I route to port 3000, it's going to be serving my application on port 3000, and that on the other port will no longer be served. So that will be all for today. I hope this video helps you set up your React application. And if you like this video and you would like to support the channel, please click the subscribe button. And to get updated on more subsequent videos like this, which will help you improve your React development journey, please click on the notification bell button so that you get updated on subsequent videos like this. Thank you.